Hello and welcome back to my nail corner. Today I am unboxing the May mystery box from Double Dip, and I'm going to go through the contents with you guys quickly, and then we are going to get into a mani. I love that Double Dip includes swatch sticks in their mystery boxes. It's so great if you don't buy them personally to be able to just swatch those out when you get the colors and see what they look like. These are really handy. A lot of people have asked me about these in the past, so it's cool that they're in the mystery box. These are fingerless gloves, and they're to protect your hands when you're using a UV or LED lamp. So you can wear these while creating your mani, and then when you pop your hand in the lamp, you don't have to worry about those UV rays if that's something that concerns you. There are super cute stickers included in every box so far that I've seen, and my daughter loves those. So I'm sure she's gonna stick them all over her notebooks and things for school because we've gotten past the stage of sticking them to furniture, thank goodness. So this, I didn't have batteries in it for filming, sorry you guys, but this is a curing, like a flash cure flashlight for UV LED things. So if you're doing nail art, or you're working with jelly tips or things like that, that is super handy. So that was fun to have included with those gloves. This is a product I haven't used yet, and so I was really excited about this. First of all, it's beautifully packaged, and then when you open up, this is a palette of gels. So I'm really excited to try this out. I have some brushes that I've just had from Amazon or whatever. If you have a builder gel brush for using builder gel in a pot, you could use that brush to apply these, but what a gorgeous palette of colors. This is a dip liquid set that is included free when you use the code KW Mystery for purchasing your mystery box. So be sure and include that code when you make a purchase for a mystery box if you want to get a free set of dip liquids. This is something that may switch up in the future. We could do a set of gel base and top, or like a manicure kit or things like that. So once you guys are stocked up on dip liquids, let me know and we will talk about switching up the bonus item that comes in the kit when you use my code. These are the three colors that came in the mystery box. This is a gorgeous red, like, oh, hot, fiery for summer, really pretty. I really like that, and it's a little orange undertone, but just a really pretty, vibrant red. This is the limited edition color for the month. This is available individually on the website right now, so you can use my code KATE25 if you want to snag that for 25% off. It's really pretty. It's got some chunky glitters in it. There's a little more gold in it than is on my swatch. I personally don't wear gold very well, so I didn't pick up a lot of gold for my swatch because I wanted to see what it looked like without it. But there are gold and silver pieces, hex glitters in there. And then this is the mystery color that was in my box. I don't know that everybody gets the same mystery color each month, but this was a really fun mystery color. Just unique, different from what I've seen in the Double Dip shop. So I was excited to wear this. It has really pretty reflections of all different colors. I feel like this could go with so many different colors, but I went with pink. So we're gonna get into a mani here. I am reaching for my dip top coat, as you might have heard in a last video. When I run low on dip base, I reach for my dip top coat because they are interchangeable, and I finish most of my manis off with gel top coat, so I end up with kind of an overabundance of dip top coat that's not being used. So I reach for that and use it as my dip base when I need it. So now I have a new set of dip liquids, so once that runs out I can go back to using dip base like a normal person, but it's really nice to know that they are interchangeable. So if you run out of dip base, or you contaminate it somehow, or it gets glued shut because you forgot to like clean the bottleneck off, just reach for your dip top coat. You're not going to be stranded without being able to do your mani. So that's why I'm using a dip top coat right now. And then I am dipping into this beautiful pink. It's one of my faves from Double Dip. I will make sure all of the color names and discount codes and all that stuff is linked in the description box below, so make sure you check that out before you shop. And then just so you know, what's on my nails right now is a kind of milky pink builder gel. So that's my base right now. Maybe a month ago now, I applied builder gel to just my short natural nails. I had since added a small extension to that, but my nails are pretty much grown out to the length that you're seeing there in just about a month, which is really nice. Builder gel does a great job of protecting your natural nails while they grow out. If you haven't tried that and want to consider that under your dip manis, it's a great solution. I also use peel base over my builder gel, so I don't have to soak off my dip powder. Do know that that's not meant for like a long-term mani. If you want to keep your dip powder on for 2 weeks, I do not know of a way to make peel base work for that. I get that question a lot. Like, I want to use peel base. How do I apply it in order to keep a dip mani on for 2 weeks? Peel base is really meant to be a short-term mani solution to alleviate having to soak off. I have never had a dip mani last for 2 weeks when using peel base. So if you know of a miraculous way to do that, let me know. I've had a lot of questions about what if I just apply the peel base down the center of my nail. I highly recommend, if you do that, to still soak off. It will speed up your soak off process because that middle part is usually the most stubborn when you're soaking off your dip powder. But I don't recommend just putting a strip down the middle of the nail and then trying to pop it off, because you can tear your natural nail, you can lift off layers of your natural nail. I don't recommend that personally. But anyway, those are peel base issues. So if you're not using peel base, then I just rambled on for nothing. Anyway, I'm getting into that glitter application, and if you haven't seen me do this before, then welcome to my channel, because you must be new here. Thanks for being here and hanging out with us. Please consider subscribing. I like to apply my chunky glitters like this. So first layer, I like to pour over, and that is going to give you a nice thin base application. It's kind of going to catch all of the finer glitters or powder and pigment that are like the base for the chunky glitter that you're doing, but keeping that first layer nice and thin. You usually only catch a few, if any, of the chunkier pieces. So then you have a nice thin kind of background layer. And then when I go in for my second layer, I pour that chunky glitter out into a cupcake liner and lay my finger into it. That is going to catch all of the bigger pieces on the top layer. So if you were to lay your finger in the powder or in the glitter for both layers, you would have 2 layers of chunky glitter, kind of one on top of the other. But by pouring over for the first one, you're really just catching the finer pieces, which is going to give you a nice thin layer for the first application, and then your chunky glitter on the top for kind of the wow factor. So I'm going to let you guys watch here. I'm going to go ahead and do the second layer on my ring finger, and I do tend to place a few individual pieces if there's any areas that are kind of sparse, or move around glitters that may be laying on top of each other. That's up to personal preference. I use like an orange wood stick or a precision tool when doing that. You could use little tweezers or whatever you have handy, but this is how I apply my chunky glitter. I wanted to show you guys all the little bits and pieces that get me the end result that we see in the end. So I'm going to let you guys watch for a minute while I apply those chunky glitters, and then I'm going to come back in a second and talk to you about a vertical ombre, which has been my jam lately. So I hope you like it, because I think that the next video I have coming is also a vertical ombre. Sorry for the repetitive nature. I filmed these like a little ways apart, but haven't obviously uploaded recently, and so now I have 2 kind of stacked back to back that are similar styles, but totally different dips, so I promise it's not the same. Anyway, I'll be back in just a second after I catch my breath. Okay, that was literally just a few seconds, but I just needed to catch my breath. I had been talking at like a little bit of motor speed, so I apologize. I had a lot to say. So I'm going to go in with a vertical ombre here. I have these brushes that are just eyeshadow application brushes purchased on Amazon for like $1. I don't know what their current price is, but probably not much more than that. They are Wet n Wild, and they are linked in the Amazon storefront in my description box below. So I'm just using that brush to pick up a little bit of powder and just tap, tap, tap with my nail right there, and that's just going to place that powder where I want it. Now, the closer you hold your brush to the nail, the more kind of control you're going to have of where that powder goes. If you pull the brush up higher away from your nail, it's going to disperse that powder more. So keep that in mind when you're applying it, depending on what you're going for. So I went ahead and applied the solid first on the one side of my nail, and then went in with a separate brush into the glitter to apply the second. Now you don't want to brush that off right away. Give it a couple of seconds to kind of soak into your dip base and make sure everything is set. You can clean up around your cuticle line. You can press things down with your finger if you want, but just give it a couple seconds. This is real time right now before you go ahead and brush it off, because if you brush it off right away, your dip base may not be set, and then you're going to mess up that kind of the design you just created. So again, with the chunkier glitter, just like when I did the first layer and poured over, what you're going to see here is just the finer glitters. And that is because for the most part, these brushes are going to pick up kind of the finer glitter and the pigment base of your chunky glitter. So it's going to give you that, again, that background foundation for your chunky glitter. So I alternate when I do my ombres. So I started with the pink the first layer and then the chunky glitter, and now I like to do the reverse. It just helps give a really nice blend in the center of the nail, in my experience and opinion. So now that I have that second layer on, I let that set for a couple of seconds, and then I went ahead and brushed that off. And now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to apply a bit of dip base, and then I'm going to use an orange wood stick to pick up a couple of the chunkier glitters and place them on the nail. Because like I said, those ombre brushes are going to pick up mostly the finer glitters, as you can see here. I actually really liked how it looked with just the finer glitters. You can get, it's kind of cool to see that you can get multiple different looks out of the same dip powder, because say you like just the finer glitters on your nail, you could absolutely use one of these ombre brushes to apply that chunky glitter to your whole nail and just pick up the fine pieces. So if you don't like to mess with chunky glitters and encapsulate and just kind of the extra work that goes into them, you could absolutely have that look that's on my nail right now with the finer glitters only, just by using one of those ombre brushes to tap it over your entire nail. It doesn't have to be an ombre. So keep that in mind if you're somebody that's like, oh, I really like the way that looks, but I don't want those chunky pieces in it. You could also use like a sifter and get rid of those chunky glitters and just apply the fine ones. So don't shy away from chunky glitters because of the extra work or because you're not comfortable using them, because sometimes like the prettiest base fine glitter combinations are kind of hidden beneath chunky glitters. So I'm going to go ahead and place a bit of those individual pieces. I did that on my solid nails as well. There's no rhyme or reason to this. It's just whatever looks good to you. Sometimes I move them around as I'm going. But yeah, it's super simple to add your chunky glitters in if that's the look you're going for. And then we're going to encapsulate in clear. I always put a layer of clear dip powder over every mani I do. It's going to protect your solid nails from being filed into the pigment. It's going to keep your glitters from being filed into, because most colored glitters are silver on the inside. So if you file into them, you're going to get a bunch of silver on the nail where it's not intended. If you do an ombre design or a French design or anything like that, you don't want to file it off. And so this clear application is going to give you a buffer to file your nails nice and smooth. And it's also going to keep your activator from getting contaminated with any pigments or glitters, because your activator is only going to come in contact with clear. So that is the rhyme and reason behind what I'm doing right now. And thanks for being here, guys. I know I haven't been uploading for the past couple of weeks. Thankfully, my family has recovered from being sick and we're just kind of catching our breath. I do homeschool my kids, and we're coming into the home stretch with a couple weeks left of school, and I've been buckling down and trying to stay like focused and on track around the house. And so Nails have been a little bit on the back burner, and I've been trying to like grow them out with the builder gel on them. So I've done a few manis, and there will be more coming, but I've just been kind of like relaxing my nail routine, if you will. But stay tuned because there is more to come. I actually will be posting a mani this week on Instagram that I did not record for YouTube, and I loved the way the ombre came out. It was a Mani Boss mani, so check that out, and I will try to do a video in the near future with that. It was a solid ombre, and so that's a little bit different than doing a glitter ombre. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to try to record something with that in the near future here because I loved it so much. I kind of wanted to do that ombre on all 5 fingers. So that might be what's coming up soon. So we are going to activate. That is going to cure your dip powder and harden it. When I am working with a chunky glitter, I like to do just this here while that activator kicks in. It's going to harden, and you can just press those glitters down flat. So anything that's kind of sticking up, you can just kind of compress it while it's curing, and that's going to make your filing job a little bit easier. So that's what I like to do after I've applied my clear dip. It just, like I said, helps kind of flatten it out and give me a little less filing work. So Activator is what cures your dip powder and your dip base together and makes them rock solid. So I'm going to file and buff off camera, and that is the filed up look. I loved how this middle finger ombre came out. I will give you a little bit of a close-up at the end so you can check it out. But now I'm going in to give my glossy finish. So when I use a gel base to finish off my mani, when I use a gel top coat to finish off my mani, I always go in with a gel base first. This is because gel top coat does not like to adhere to a slick, smooth surface. It wants something tacky to grip to. So applying your gel base first leaves a tacky layer on the surface, and that is going to allow your gel top coat to stick. So if you've tried a gel top coat over a dip powder mani and it didn't stick, it peeled up after a couple days or an hour, you might want to try a gel base or a gel primer first. I personally prefer gel base. I really like the gel from Double Dip. These are the Bella Vina brand, and they are sold in the Double Dip shop. I love their gels. They're really nice, smooth application, nice and thin, but not runny. So I don't find that they add bulk to the nail, but boy, do they gloss it up. They are so shiny, and they just hold up super well. So I highly recommend checking out their gels if you are in the market to try that out. But definitely consider laying a gel base down on the nail first before applying gel top coat. I tried gel top coat years ago over my dip and it peeled up, and I was so frustrated. I was like, why do people do this? Just use the gel or the dip top coat. But once I figured out the gel base first really solves that peeling problem, I have been all in. So I went ahead and cured that base for 30 seconds, and now I'm going to skip right through applying the gel top coat because it's exactly the same as what you just saw me do with gel base. And then we are going to cure that for 60 seconds, and we are done. I love that about a gel top coat is that as soon as you come out of the lamp, that is hardened up and then so glossy and good to go. So I like to finish up every mani using cuticle oil. That is going to nourish the cuticle around my nail and keep it healthy. It's going to really help. It helps me not have like hang nails or skin tearing around my fingers. I'm pretty hard on my hands. I'm in dishes a lot and doing stuff with kids and working out in the gym, and so I really like to use cuticle oil like all the live long day just to keep that skin nice and healthy and hydrated. So there is our finished look. Don't forget to check out the description box below for details on discounts at shopping at the Double Dip shop. Thanks for being here and hanging out with me, you guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye now.